Okay.
Yeah, like I have a habit, just now, but I
What's going
can,
on?
even I lost it. Uh,
Was it about fear? Was it about relationships? Was it about
oh,
relationships?
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah. Oh, I yeah. It's actually it's about we, my friend, and I talk about a topic about last week. We just talk about she said when she you know can finish a romantic relationship with her boyfriend and they can be friend again, you know. Yeah,
Yep.
and I yeah, and I don't agree with it, but it seems when she told me the details, it seems they really cannot be a friend, like when she told me the reason. But I don't know, I know you have a great relationship, with your girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, or so
Mhm.
I just yeah want to know how do you do that?
Well, why does it seem like a problem or difficult for you in your imagination? Yeah, like let's imagine you're with a boy and you love him and he loves you, but something happens or whatever, for whatever reason, you end up separating. Okay. So why does it seem like a problem to remain friends? Why does that
Yeah.
seem?
So yeah, I feel for me, I simply think it's but maybe I we just maybe they share too much things. I don't know. It just seems
Well, the
maybe
reason. Go ahead.
yeah, yeah,
The
maybe too
reasons that
close to,
the reasons
yeah.
that it's usually difficult for people. Sometimes they didn't even have really a friendship to start with. That happens. Uh, they they just got together. Maybe there was a lot of good sex or other things, and but there really wasn't a deep liking. And they didn't really have things that they just like to be together as just two friends or two people even. So in
Uh-huh.
those cases, it'd be very understandable how you probably wouldn't continue to be friends afterwards.
Uh-huh.
Um, but the main reason why people uh, are not friends is because they blaming each other, like maybe it's associated with why they broke up, that the woman is blaming the man or the man's blaming the woman or back and forth. It's like uh, it's your fault, that our marriage or relationship ended. And
Yeah.
so um, and because we have this idea in the culture, like people should be together forever or whatever. Like if there's some sort of breakup, there must be a bad guy, right? That's like an
Yeah.
assumption in our culture. And but that's a totally unnecessary assumption. You know, it can
Yeah.
be just okay. I can take my situation with my ex-Japanese wife. Uh, we both worked in our marriage to have it be more happy. We even went to counselors together. I can honestly say I pretty much did my best, to have it so we could be happy enough to want to stay together. And I think she, from her perspective, she did her best. But at a certain point, it just didn't work, And so, and it's like she's not the bad guy. It's just at one point we seemed to fit together, and we're both happy. But we got to a point where we couldn't find a way to really be happier together than we would be apart. Okay, so although I was in that particular situation, I was the one who made that choice first, but I think she quickly aligned with that, and so we actually had a very supportive and friendly separation, and remained pretty good friends for a while after that. And I did an even much better job, with that with my ex-girlfriend in China. We were together 12 years. Actually, I could say that was the best relationship of my whole life, And so what happens is people don't take care of themselves in a relationship. They keep, in their view, compromising. Oh, I can tolerate this, and then it builds up, and so they feel like they're the good guy, and the other person's got their reasons for feeling the same way. Okay, and then so usually each side is not really taking care of themselves, and they let things build up, and then to try to be a good guy, and then it reaches a certain point, then and the other person seems to be the bad guy, then you're justified in blaming them, right? And then you can be justified in leaving the relationship because you feel like you need a justification other than just your own best happiness. You got to make the other person wrong in order to justify leaving. And it's totally unnecessary and just so much cost to do it that way. The purpose of being together is because each side judges they can, given their other choices, they're going to be happier in life than being apart. If for either side or both, if that changes, then it just changes, and you can be partners in separating, and if you and then you can be good friends together. I had a situation where I was coaching two good friends in America, and they had been married for, I don't know, 15 years or so, and they were really good friends. But they, for various reasons, they both decided they would be happier being divorced. But their big concern was, oh, it might affect our friendship if we get divorced. So I actually coached them on making sure their friendship was even stronger after they got divorced than before. And it was, they did a great job, So, yeah. What do you think? Your thoughts, feedback, questions?
But it's depend on the two people, who both agree that. But what if one part of the person just think another way, like we cannot do it, and how could you do, if the other another, the next your ex or girlfriend didn't agree with it.
Yeah, so one of you wanted to separate and the other one doesn't, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
Well, the fundamental principle of having great relationships in life is the idea of win-win, both sides feel like they're better off. And yes, I'll take a simple example. I could say, well, this person was selling me apples for this price before, but now, and I was happy, they were happy. But I don't know, something changed and I didn't want apples anymore. Maybe I found better apples down the street, But they said, no, 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 you can't stop buying apples from me, uh, I meant, we easily accept that that's a risk, in any sort of other types of relationship. So the same thing applies in relationship with, and do you want another person to stay with you? Like they feel like they're sacrificing from you. They really don't want to be with you. I mean, who would really want that if they thought about it, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So the other person's probably not thinking very clearly, if they're really saying, well, you should stay regardless of whether you want to or not, And so it can be problematic in that situation to maintain the friendship, but still, if the one person says, hey, I don't know how, I'd really like to, I do what I can to support you and you have a great life. I don't know how to do that and still maintain our romantic relationship, and I would love very much if we could just work together so we could have the best possible separation, And so, does that answer your question?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, and there's many. I've had a few girlfriends in my life, to say the least, and I've remained pretty good friends with a lot of them, and
Yeah.
and I could say that I had two pretty good divorces, in terms of separating with mutual understanding and mutual respect, and but the old idea of just like, well, if you're finished with them, you're finished with them. I think that's based in the whole idea of like right and wrong, and there must be some bad guy in order to justify uh, 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 a divorce or separation.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the whole idea of the house of good and bad,
Yeah,
which has all sorts of problems, including this one. Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
All right.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, that's a great issue to bring up.